My name is Ash, and this week, I'm going to learn how to get my life together. Let's go. And hey, my name is Ash, and as you heard in the intro, this week, I'm going to learn how to get my life together. This, in all honesty, is probably the first video series that I should have started, and I feel like is the most important skill somebody can learn to do. Like everything else that you do revolves around some degree of having your life together. So here we are, and let me break down what that means. For the sake of simplicity, I'm going to put it into 5 main categories of improvement, or pillars, I like to call them. So the first would be organization, the second would be finances, the third would be health and exercise, the fourth would be more my education and skills, and then the fifth would be the root cause, I'd say, chronic procrastination or task avoidance. I'm going to go through these pillars one by one briefly in this episode, and I'll probably break them down further in the weeks to come. Okay, first off is organization. I mean this in the figurative and literal sense. As you can see, and you may have been wondering about my surroundings around me, this is not clean. This is actually my recording studio or recording table, I'll say. And I was not able to clean it up for the shoot. I am not a naturally clean person. My house, truth to be told, is almost always messy. I've never been able to clean it or keep it clean on a consistent basis. It doesn't even have a quote-unquote theme. It more feels like a place that I'm kind of occupying with my family, like a house or apartment rather than a home. And in the figurative sense, or in another sense, I would say another part of organization that I want to improve, and I am struggling with, is having a schedule. So what that means is currently I don't have a schedule. I'm up all hours in the night. I'm waking up late during the day at hours I don't want to be. I want to be waking up early, and I want to be doing things on a regular basis. So productive things on a regular basis. And I find that without a schedule, and I'm not managing my time properly. So that is also something I want to improve in the area of organization, the pillar of organization. Nothing is organized and everything feels like unscheduled, out of control chaos. I don't get, as I mentioned earlier, I don't get things done on a regular and consistent basis. And that's it for the pillar of organization. Let's move on to finances. Now let's move on to the pillar of finances. As you can see, I do have a couple of assets, like for example, this laptop, this camera equipment that I'm recording with, and even this computer in the background, but that's about it. I have a couple depreciating assets and no real liquid cash. Truth to be told, I'm actually $200 in overdraft with my bank. And the other good thing is though, I don't have any debt besides that, like for example, no credit debt, no student loans that I have to pay off. I am debt-free besides the $200 that I owe to my bank because of the overdraft. But at the same time, on that note, I haven't really used my credit card, like at all. I usually use debit for all my purchases, and so I haven't built up a credit score, which at 22 is really not a good thing, but I do want to build it from this point onwards. To make matters worse, at this current point, I don't really have a proper job or some kind of job that I'm holding to get some form of recurring income, nor do I have any kind of holdings in Bitcoin, stocks, real estate, or any kind of investment. That's about it for finances. Let's move on to the third pillar, which is health. Now let's talk about the third pillar, which is health. So the thing about health is, you may have seen my last video prior to this video that was titled the 100-Day Transformation, where I talk about undergoing a fitness transformation within 100 days and documenting the process. There has been no update video to that, simply because I have not been able to do it. What happened was, essentially, my mom got busy with work and her work-related stuff to the point where she was working 13 to 14 hours a day. And due to that, she no longer had time to regularly cook for me and my family. So, of course, that job and that responsibility fell upon me as the oldest son in the household, and I was not able to take that properly. I didn't know how to cook properly, and so I relied on takeout and frozen meals, or very, very easy things to make that were not healthy, and which I continued for weeks on end. And when you do that, your motivation to exercise also reduces. The worse that I ate over the weeks, the less that I exercised, to the point where it became non-existent. In fact, I think I've gained back weight too, because I believe I was 190 and I'm now 197 pounds, which is not a good thing at all. For the way I feel tired, lethargic, horrible all the time because of me not eating good and not exercising, living a healthy lifestyle. And honestly, I don't even like the way that I look right now. Truth to be told, I know that the way that I feel and the way that I look is not representative of who I really am. And I want to make sure I can bring that back and live true to myself. A healthy lifestyle is simply not possible with these kind of habits. And that's about it for this pillar of health. Let's move on to the fourth pillar, which is education and skills. So for the fourth pillar, education and skills, I will say this kind of pertains to the fulfillment section of my life. And for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to just focus on my YouTube channel for this pillar. As you can see on my YouTube channel, or as you may or may not have seen, I have a couple series on my YouTube channel that I just started the week 0, but never really updated with the week 1. Instead of updating it with the week 1, I've told myself I would, but I've either procrastinated by gaming, watching YouTube videos, doing various other unproductive stuff, and simply not updated the series. This is a channel that I am passionate about, and I want to ensure that that changes. I want to ensure that if I do start a series, I see it to completion, that I update it week by week. I've stopped updating my channel. I've stopped self-educating myself and learning skills, and spent my time unproductively instead. That's about it for this pillar. And now let's talk about the fifth pillar, fifth and final one, procrastination. So let's talk about the fifth and final pillar, chronic procrastination, which we'll talk about next time. See you next time. Thanks for watching. Just kidding. But seriously, this is probably the category that I feel is the most important, because it's the one that I believe to be linked to everything else. Everything to a degree has been a struggle because of my struggle with chronic procrastination. It's the pillar that I want to improve on and focus on the most. I want to, for the first time in my life, do things ahead of time, ahead of schedule, be finished a week earlier, instead of rushing and finishing it at the last minute, or in my case, oftentimes, not at all. The biggest example that I can think of is the fact that I was supposed to do this video 2 months ago. I was supposed to be finished uploading and sharing it with the world 2 months ago. I didn't. I procrastinated on it until today, unfortunately. This is something that a couple of my friends have very gently and slightly reminded me about and nudged me about politely. But rightfully so, honestly. This is a channel that I had guaranteed and promised myself to be dedicated about, and something that I'm truly passionate about, that I have a big kind of goal in mind and progressions that I want to do, something I'm truly 110% into, and I was not dedicated. I simply didn't do it. I don't want things to stay like this. To make matters worse, I would say I now have the attention span of a peanut. I can work on things for maybe maximum 10 minutes at a time, where I just stop working, productive things I should say, where I stop working and then leave the task and come back later, or just oftentimes leave the task entirely, just not finish the task at all. I could go on, but I'll keep it simple for this pillar, and I'll say I've lost a lot of opportunities because of this, because of my struggles with chronic procrastination. And I don't think I'm the only one, but for me, it's affected me severely. I don't want things to stay like this. So all of that being said, I do want to change this. I don't want things to remain the same, and I want to do so take it day by day and week by week in the case of this channel, in the form of small, incremental, manageable steps. Like for example, for organization, a specific goal that I have in mind for the week 1 update is I want to clean this space first and foremost, and also the living room, and provide an update to that in week 1. In the terms of finances, I do want to apply to and find a minimum wage job by next week. The reason I do say minimum wage is because I don't have much work experience or post-secondary education that's completed, so that's probably the only thing I'm going to get. But I do believe in small steps, and I believe that that's a great step to get some form of recurring income to start off with. In the terms of health, I'm going to keep it simple. I just want to make one meal for me and my family. Just one. I could make more, but that is the bare minimum for the week 1 update. In the terms of my skills and my education, I think I'll also keep that simple as well. For the first time on my channel, I want to make a week 1 update to a video. This video, specifically, of getting my life together. So if you don't see the getting my life together video up next Monday, which is, what's the date next Monday? Monday, August 30th, that means I've failed that sector, and most likely a couple of the other sectors as well. Lastly, and most importantly for the pillar of chronic procrastination and task avoidance, I want to find a strategy that works for me, that lets me do work efficiently, taking into account the fact that I can't work for more than 10 minutes at a time because of my attention span. This one's a little bit more vague, but I will get more specific in the weeks to come. These are all things that I've told family, friends, and people that care about me that I would change, but have failed at again and again, to the point where they've almost all have lost trust in me, rightfully so, and even to a small extent, I've lost trust and belief in myself. But still, I think it's important to try again regardless, because it's over if you give up. I don't want to be defined by my past examples. I'm going to try again. I want to grow and I want to change these things to the point that I can truly be proud of myself again. I want to show myself and others that it can be done. So that was week 0. I hope you'll come watch me learn how to get my life together in the week 1 update that I'm posting on August 30th, this time for real. But in the meantime, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in week 1.